let's knit this chunky scarf together. It's super easy. Let's start with supplies. You're going to need a pair of size 10 needles, a tapestry needle, a scissors, and about 2 skeins of chunky yarn. So let's start by casting on. And if you're a beginner, don't worry, I'm going to take you through this step by step. Okay, so find the end of your yarn, and we're going to cast on about 20 stitches. And a good way to figure out how much tail you need to leave is to wrap your yarn around your needle 20 times. And then we want to leave a little extra so that we can weave that in. Now, right where my finger is, we're going to make a slip knot. So what you do is lay your 2 fingers flat and put the yarn across it, hold with your thumb here, wrap it around 1 time, and then another half time and tuck it up, and then pull that little loop. And then stick that on your needle and tighten up. So we're going to do the traditional long tail cast on, and what you want to do for that, and I do have another video for this if you want to take things a little slower. So you want to put your fingers in through this opening here, grab the tail end with your fingers, and pull down like this to make this kind of V shape, like that. Now tuck your needle under this piece of yarn by your thumb and come up through this hole. And now come over underneath this one by your finger and come in through this hole that it makes and pull up and pull tight. So separate these 2 strands of yarn, come down by this piece of yarn by your thumb and come up, scoop underneath this piece by your finger and come in through this hole and tighten. And we want to do that 20 times. And look at that, just enough tail at the end to weave in. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how to knit this scarf. And if you want to choose your own pattern, you can go ahead. There are a ton of different patterns you can choose from. And if you want to create your own, just make sure when you're choosing a stitch that it consists of 2 things. 1 is that it lies flat, and 2 is that it looks nice on the front as well as the back. And there are many stitches that meet this requirement, but today we're going to use the simplest one, and that's called garter stitch. So to do garter stitch, what you want to do is put your needle in through this first loop, like that. Take your yarn that's connected to your ball, don't start knitting with the tail end, and wrap it around this back needle and pull the back needle down and up off the needle. So again, we're putting in our needle from front to back, wrapping this around counterclockwise, and you want to pull down, you're pulling this piece of yarn down through this loop to make a new stitch. And you just keep on going like that. So I told you that this was a very simple stitch pattern, and here's why. This is the only stitch you need to know, because we're going to do this on every single row. We just knit every single stitch. Okay, and when we get to the end, I want to show you how to turn your work so that you don't find your work mysteriously expanding, because this happened to me when I first started knitting. So turn your work, and when you're doing the knit stitch, you always have the yarn in back. So a lot of times when you're starting a new knitting row, they say move your yarn to the back, and there's a way to do it that is correct and a way to do it that'll increase your stitch count. I'll show you what is the wrong way first. If you want to move your yarn to the back after finishing a row, don't move it like this. I want you to watch this stitch right here magically become 2 stitches when I do this. Do you see that? And so a lot of times people will knit into these and then their work will start going like this. So make sure that when you move your yarn to the back, you're keeping it like that. This last stitch should stay 1 stitch. So now we just start again and we put our needle in, yarn in back, wrap around, and we just keep going like this. And this is the rare project that I'm not going to preach to you about the importance of a row counter, because what matters, like I said before, is the finished length of the scarf, and you get to decide how long you want your scarf to be. Knit until you reach your desired length, and if you're like, hey, just frickin' tell me what length I should be doing, I'm gonna stop around 40 inches. I'm gonna knit a few rows with you, so you can just watch me, but if you wanna go off and do this on your own, do that and then come back when you're ready to finish this off. So I'll put on a little bit of music and we can just chill here together. I do also want to ask you if you are enjoying this video and if you want more free patterns, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. It'll let the algorithm know that you like what I'm doing, and that will help me to bring you more things like this. And if you are a beginner, I really encourage you to look up how to fix mistakes. It's one of the first things that I think you should learn after learning kind of the basics, because it's really going to help you in your knitting journey and you won't be so afraid when something goes wrong. And I want to show you how garter stitch is shaping up. So this is what it's going to look like when we're all done. It's kind of these little waves all along, and it's the same on the front and the back. I like a skinnier scarf, but if you wanted something wider, all you have to do is cast on more stitches. This really is kind of a build it yourself project, so do whatever makes you happy. Okay, I am gonna move on now and do this off camera, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so my scarf is all finished. I did go about 40 inches, which is probably the minimum length that I would recommend for a scarf. So if you want to keep going, by all means. But now I'm going to show you how to bind off. What you want to do is knit 2 stitches just like normal. Then take this first stitch and bring it over the second one and drop it off the needle. Knit another stitch. Take that first one up over the second and drop it. And we just continue like that. I would also recommend maybe using 1 needle size bigger. So the needle on the right side, use like 1 size bigger, and that will help if you find that your bind off edge is a little bit too tight. Okay, so we are approaching our final stitch. So again, just knit the 2, take this one up over, grab your scissors, and you want to cut your scarf free from your ball of yarn and make sure you leave a tail. Now for the fun part, just pull up on your needle and your scarf is free. Okay, so at this point, if you want to weave this in, if you don't want, I'm going to do tassels. I'm going to show you how to do tassels. If you don't want to do that, check out my video on how to weave in ends. I don't really recommend doing that on something that's going to be two-sided, because when you weave in ends, no matter how well you do or if you do it the right way, it's going to leave like a little fluff hanging out of one of your stitches. And that always bothers me. If it doesn't bother you, go for it. So I will show you how to do tassels. So to make tassels, get your yarn ball. You're also going to want a crochet hook. It's just helpful for this. And then something to wrap your yarn around. It's going to depend on how long you want your tassels to be. So this would make my tassels about this long, a little shorter because we're going to tie them. I like to use a phone and you wrap it lengthwise. So I am going to use this book though. And I want to wrap it 3 times. I feel like between 2 and 4 wraps makes a good tassel size. So 1, 2, 3. Cut that from the ball of yarn. Grab your yarn at the top here. And then we're going to cut down in the middle so that we create some strands. So now we have these 3 free strands. Okay, set that aside. Now when it comes to attaching them, you can go in front to back, or you can go in back to front. Just make sure that you do it the same all the way down. But I'm going to start here at the edge, and I'm going to do back to front. Get your tassels nice and even here, and then you can pull through, but you know what, I want to include this one in with it. So I'm just gonna kind of maneuver it through this hole. Get back. See, I'm not going through like that one strand down here. I'm gonna go through both of these. Okay, getting that all set up, and then I can bring this one through with it. You make a little loop, and you go through and grab all of the strands. Now don't pull like this to tighten. Make sure you're pulling like you tighten a tie. So do it using the strands. And then you create this nice little knot right here, which I think is called a lark's head. And then I would not go through the one next to it. You don't want them to be crowded. I would move a little bit further down. And then again, like I said, going in back to front. And if you're worried about where to insert your crochet hook, I wouldn't do it. You see how there's just one strand here at the bottom? I would try to do it, if you separate, you can see your stitches, and then it's more like 2 strands that you're going through. Just a personal preference. You'd probably be just fine if you decided to go through that one strand, but why not make it a little more secure, a little less floppy. Okay, I think I grabbed all of them there. And then pull through and make your lovely little lark's head. And then once you've gone all the way down, you can trim up the bottoms so that they are even. Just finish that and then do the other side and you're done.